Hi guys, so today I wanted to talk about the confinement food. I know in my last video I went over a lot of the practices and body treatments and therapy that your body undergoes after you give birth, but today I wanted to mainly focus on the food and what the confinement food means and what it does for your body. I do want to say that I am not a therapist and I'm not a TCM master or anything like that. All these things I've learned from my time in Singapore and in Thailand, and then mostly just from a ton of research. You know that I did the confinement after I had Charlie, and it was life-changing. It was everything that they said it was going to be, and I did feel so good, and I am absolutely obsessed with it. So I want to go over it in simple terms so that you can understand it and know where to get it and how it can help you. So basically, from the beginning, TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, kind of divides all foods into two food groups. It's warming foods and cooling foods. So after you give birth, they believe that your body basically takes in all this air and you want to get rid of it because the air, the wind as they call it, is what hurts your uterus. It makes you retain water. It makes you unable to, produce a lot of milk. There's all of these things, backaches. We know it. If you've had a baby before, the heavy discharge, whatever it is, all of those things come from the air and the water that is in your body. So the warming foods actually help to dispel the wind and help tonify your uterus and make you healthy again, make you feel great, and help you lose that baby weight. So I want to show you some just super simple like heating and cooling foods. So over here, see if you can see me, I'm going to put heating, and here we're going to do cooling. So as much as possible, you want to find out which foods go into those two food groups. So for heating, I have my notes over here. That's what I'm looking at. So let's say like in heating, you have kiwis. That's a fruit that heats your body. It doesn't cool it. And in cooling foods, you're going to have apples, melons, what else? Milk, buffalo. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that goes into both of these things. But there are a lot of things that are super good about heating foods, like, for example, ginger and black sesame seed oil and lemongrass. All of those things really heat up your body and they keep you warm. They keep out the wind and the water and all those things that will work against us. So you can find a ton of, I found all this stuff, sorry there's a plane going by. I found all of these lists online, and you can basically just download them all and then see what you like out of each. So like in heating, there's so much stuff. There's olives, there's beef, fish, tons of stuff. You'll see lists of basically every food you've ever heard of in your life, and it's divided, either it's cooling or it's heating. So you want to, as much as possible, eat the heating foods and stay away from the cooling foods. So the confinement food, for the most part, is their soups. And you can find these soups online. The brand that I used came from Singapore. It's called Mummamia. I'll put the link below. And it's basically a package of dried herbs. Sounds super delicious, I know. But it's all of them. There's about a set of 10 days. And I think I did 30 days of teas. And each day focuses on a different thing. So it's basically the four things. It's like expel, remove, recuperate, regenerate. And it just focuses on your organs and getting you to feel healthy again, basically. So you make this tea by basically taking these herbs, and I would put them in a muslin cloth because some of them are really look like bark or something, and it would kind of get all in your broth. And you simmer it for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then you add a few of your favorite heating foods. Like I would put in beef and corn, carrots, mushrooms. You want it to be filling because this is your lunch and your dinner. So you want it to be as delicious as you can make it. So there's a lot of trial and error. Because of course the first 3 or 4 that I had, I was like, they're really not tasty. But then you kind of start to build, the things that you like into it, and you find that it's not so bad. It's actually quite tolerable, and most of all, it makes you feel really good. I had tons of milk, like more than enough milk to go around. It was perfect. So you don't ever need to be hungry in the confinement diet. It's absolutely unnecessary. Brown rice is something that is super filling, and that's also a warming food. There's tons of other things, also snacks here and there. The vegetables and the fruit, if you don't like vegetables in your soup, you can steam them and have them on the side. Everything can be made really delicious. I would suggest Googling some photos of confinement food if you are going to make it yourself. In Asia, there's a lot of delivery services. Just like we get, takeout, whatever here, you can order your confinement food there. It's very normal. It hasn't moved to the West yet, which is a crying shame, but soon it will. Another thing that's really important are the teas. So it's basically a red date tea, and it comes in a package as well, and they're dried red dates and black dates and another thing called longans. It's an Asian thing. And one package makes about 3 liters of tea. And you want to make sure that during your confinement time, everything you're putting in your body, as much as possible, is warm. And this includes all drinks. So for the confinement purists, like the really traditional guys, they don't drink any water after birth. So for this whole confinement period, that's about 30 to 40 days, they don't drink water. They drink this tea or other variations of teas like ginger teas or lemongrass teas that really are warming and will give you a lot of milk, like a really full milk supply, and will help your insides a lot. Water, they believe that it's very bloating. It's not as hydrating as when it's turned into a tea, basically. So I did drink water, of course, every now and then, and I just, as much as possible, tried to make sure it was warm. An electric tea kettle really helps with that. So yeah, the teas are a big part. I think I did maybe like 30 days of this red date tea, and I'll put the link below. I got it from the same company, Mummamia. They're really good. I found them to be like the most straightforward English-speaking company that ships confinement products. So they are really legit. So besides the red date tea, another option is just ginger tea, which is super delicious. And you can just make that with regular ginger, simmering it in water, and try to have as much of it as you can. You want to stay really hydrated, especially if you've had a normal delivery, like a regular delivery, and you're doing any postpartum treatments, like the massage or the steam tent or stuff like that. You want to make sure you're staying really hydrated. Also, lemongrass tea, you make it the same way. It's just lemongrass and water, and it's simmered with honey or whatever it is that you want in it. So those are all really good. What else? Butter. The Chinese believe that a woman, a postpartum woman, should be eating a lot of butter. Don't go crazy with the butter, but if you're going to have bread, have butter on it. No shame. Your body needs it right now. Maybe certain things that you couldn't really stomach before, you'll find that you can now. Like, not everyone loves ginger or sesame seed oil, but for some reason, after birth, you can handle it. I can't remember if it's twice as much or 3 times as much as a regular person. So it's good to, use this time to get all of that stuff inside your body. You'll find that these teas this method has been working for I don't know how many hundreds of years. So it does help to kind of shrink your to shrink your organs back and make your insides feel good, so that if you are using a tummy binder or a waist trainer, or if you're using the Bangkung like I talked about in the last video, these teas help to kind of prepare the ground so that it can do its work. And that's magic. It really is magic. The people who follow these kind of guidelines and this diet and this traditional way of doing things find that their body goes to their pre-pregnancy state after about 40 days. So I know that it works. I totally trust this way of doing it 100%. I did not work out at all. You don't need to. What you put in your body is much more important than what your body is actually doing. Because obviously after you give birth, you're not going to really be exercising that much. I would say go slow. The first week or so, you can start these foods right away. My therapist told me, after I gave birth, my first meal in the hospital could be a confinement tea. It's not an issue. It wasn't. There was great food at the hospital that I was at, lots of Japanese food, so I ate that. But when you start, because you're feeding this new baby, and these are maybe herbs and spices that you're not used to, I would suggest going slower and not adding as much ginger or sesame seed or things that might upset your stomach or possibly go into the milk and give too much to the baby. Just go work with your body and see how you're feeling. You can't really do anything too wrong. I ate like a bag of red Doritos every day for a week because you're sweating, you're losing so much salt because you're sweating your ass off, and you're sweating your butt off, and you start craving salt or bubbly water. I really wanted Chang bubbly water, or some days like a bar of chocolate or different things like that, and there are cheats. But you just want to, as much as possible, try to stick to your heating foods. Know what your heating foods are that you like, and try to always have some kind of snack readily available for after you've nursed, or you're hungry, or you're thirsty, or whatever. Accidents happen. We all skip and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Again, there's lots of room for give and take. You may find that you don't like certain things, you're a vegetarian, or you don't like beef, or you don't like fish, or you don't like this, that, and the other. And there's a way to make confinement work for everybody. Everyone deserves to feel and look great after they have a baby. Those are the facts. And for me, this was the quickest and the easiest way to do that. And I found so much joy doing it. It really became like a happy thing for me to focus on my body, not just focus on being a new mom and the new responsibility that was, and the excitement and the joy that having a new baby is, but also focusing on yourself and what's inside, because a happy mom creates a happy baby, and that creates a happy world. So it's so important to also focus on your needs, and this was very simple and straightforward. You make one pot of soup in the morning, and that's your lunch, and that's your dinner. So it just takes reheating. Super simple. And also for breakfast, sorry, this noise is annoying. For breakfast, there is more of a leeway to your likes and dislikes. So a regular breakfast in confinement would be something like eggs that are not runny, pretty well cooked. Because of the bacteria, you don't want the eggs to be too soft. Bread with butter. Some fruit that's like on the heating page. So green grapes and kiwis and whatever it is that you like. And different things. I'll put some other options below. But breakfast is more, it's your first meal of the day. It should be what you like. Just try, as much as possible, try to keep it within the boundaries of having just a few cooling things a day and stick to the heating things as much as possible. You can think of it like an alkaline and an acid diet. You know, it's impossible to always stay away from acidic things, but you can really put an effort into eating alkaline things, and then the acid things won't really matter so much, and it will just kind of balance out, and it's okay. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a, any of those things. So listen to your body and see, how you're feeling, and give and take. Make sure that you're being generous with yourself. This diet, you never have to be hungry. You never have to starve. You don't need to count your calories. Everything will be okay. Remember that.